Hey guys, come on in. It is 6:15. Today is Wednesday? No, Thursday. Today's Thursday. Fourth day of the work week. Fourth day of my upcoming watercolor class that I'm taking. And I'm going to teach y'all what I'm learning. You know how I do. I take the classes and then I teach y'all what I'm learning. I'm Julie with Nothing is Wasted Designs. Come on in and we're going to watercolor tonight. So hang tight and we will see where this is going to take us. I have my watercolors. I got my watercolors from, this is a swatch sheet. These watercolors are from Andrea Nelson. If you have not had a chance to watch her on, she's on YouTube, and I like watching her on either Facebook or YouTube or either one. But before we get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wet down my watercolors. Whoops, I probably should take this swatch sheet out and not mess with it now. All right, and I'm going to just let those sit off to the side for right now. And we are going to prep our paper. Oh, I did not want to get that wet. Because, you know, the one thing about watercolors, and it's going to go right along with the lesson that we're going to have tonight, is that you can reconstitute them. So you can put watercolors on watercolor paper, and then you can turn around after it's dry, and you can make them so that you can move them around again. So putting it on my swatch sheet it's just going to be okay. It's going to be okay, as Andrea Nelson would say. All right, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to do a technique that I learned last night, and I'm going to share it with y'all. But before we do, last night I made, whoops, where'd it go? Where did it go? Oh, this is what I made last night. I started out in watercolors, well, let me show you what I did. Hang on. All right, so what's today? Thursday. So Tuesday night, this is what I learned Tuesday night, okay? We did and then I'm going to show you, you can see where this came from. So we took a watercolor paper and cut it into three, you know, as close to the same as you can, same size as you can, and turn this into like a flip book, okay? And this is going to be my sketchbook. And so these, you start with and I'm going to cut one up tonight too. You start with one sheet of paper, and then you divide it into either 2 or 3 pieces, however you want to do. And so these are 3 different techniques that we use. We did wet on wet, we did wet on dry, and then here we did wet on dry again. And so you can see this picture here is the picture that I used to do this in. Hey Alicia, how are you? Come on in. Hey Karen, good to see you. So this picture here came from what I learned in watercolors. This is what I did with watercolors. And then I transferred that to acrylics. And then what it says here is the joy of the Lord is my strength. And so I still feel like there's something I need to put here. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'll figure that out offline. But you can see I've got a variety of colors. You can see I've got some gold metallic pen in here, so that it's got a little bit of a shimmer. But this was a technique. If you didn't see this video that I did last night, you can go back onto my page and you can find this. You will not find this on my page, because this was kind of like my homework or my lesson. The instructor was so funny. I told her I just got finished with my homework. She said, it's not called homework. And no, which I thought was pretty cute. I'm, you know, being a former public school teacher, former birds. What does birds mean? Birds. Birds. I don't know what birds means. But anyway, so this was last night. So tonight, what we're going to do, okay, I actually cut this sheet of watercolor paper or like a confetti effect or dots. Oh, put birds on there. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thanks. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll do some dots. I think I'll do some green dots because I was thinking about incorporating some green in there. So that's a great idea, Karen. Thank you. All right, so we're going to flip the page, which is in thirds. Oh, and let me show y'all too. Where are my penguins? I got to show you the penguins I did, I think. This is like, look at my penguins that I did. This is a whole different something that I did from Lacey. She's called the Rebel Unicorn, and she was teaching about painting penguins. I thought that was kind of cool. And so the important thing that I have learned, I've taken several different art classes because I really want to learn how to paint. And hey, Denise, come on in. The one important thing that I would like to share with y'all, that if you have not done this, okay, this is new to me because remember, I'm a math teacher by occupation. So when I teach things, I'm going to teach them coming from the math side of the brain, and hopefully those of you who are on the other side of the brain will be able to understand that too. And I'm going to go over some color theory tonight, and I've never heard anybody else teach it the way that I think about it. And I just think that the way I think about it is so much easier. So let me get my color wheel out while I'm saying that, so I remember that I said that we are going to, where is my color wheel? It's stuck up in here. Hang on. There we go. Looks like it got folded up in the drawer. I need to go through that drawer, it looks like, again. Are y'all constantly going through your drawers and rearranging and taking stuff out and putting more stuff in and everything? All right, so this is a color wheel, but I am not going to teach the color wheel like most artists teach the color wheel. I am going to teach the color wheel in what I think is a very much more simplified manner. All right, so those are my penguins that I learned how to do. That was kind of fun, and I did several pages of them. So the takeaway that I have for you is, if you do not have a sketchbook, get a sketchbook. Let's see if I can show you. This one's kind of new, so I won't really have a whole lot in here to show you. I've got a page of penguins. I got another page of penguins. I got another page of penguins. And you can see I was practicing their heads in here. I was having a hard time getting the brush to do what I want it to do. And then I have penguins of different colors, and I thought, oh, I could use the idea with the penguins and make turtles with it, because this one, you change the color, it kind of changes everything else. All right, so we are going to use this, and the method that we're going to use tonight is we're going to be working with a splatter method. All right, my page is 9 by 12 inches, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of flip this up on its end here. And let's see what is the best way to do this, because I need the space. No, I need it flat. All right, so I'm gonna have to turn it sideways. You don't have to make this exact, but I have, if you don't have a T-square, it's a wonderful tool. I keep it in my my box for whenever I need to use it. And it's not always that I use it, but I do use it every so often. All right, so this is a 12-inch by 9-inch piece of paper. Half of 12 is 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mark a little mark right here at 6 inches. And then I'm going to mark I don't need to mark a second mark because that's what the T-square is going to do. I just got something all over it. All right, so I'm going to just take the T-square and I am going to put it up against that edge, and I'm going to come over here to this little dot that I made, and I'm just going to draw a line down the middle, and now I'm done. That's all I need it for. Unless I need, I'm going to put that away. Unless I need another page cut, I'm good for tonight. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to just cut this up the middle. It's a little bit off, but that's okay because remember that this is just a practice book. And so I am going to just go straight up the line all the way and cut it into two pieces all the way through where the binding is, and then that way these are separate. All right, and now we're going to put some tape on this so that we have a border. So let me turn this over, and I'm going to get out some 3/4 inch tape, and I'm going to go across the top. And give myself a border. Let's see how I want to do this. And I'm just going to kind of put this down really well so that it does not bleed underneath there. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it about halfway on one side and halfway on the other. Now, y'all know how to do all of this kind of stuff. This isn't anything new for you, but if you are new to watercolor, I hope I can teach you something tonight. I like to teach. I like to learn. All right, and so let's see how I want to do this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down, and I can kind of see through the tape. I've got it hanging off the edge a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. You all struggle with doing the opposite thing when you do something else. All right, there we go. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember that this is a, I know, I never thought of cutting the page up, but there's something about cutting that page up. All right, and then I'm going to kind of go off the edge on this one also. There's something about cutting the page up that you can fill a smaller space. Like I've got a larger, I don't know where it is. I've got like an 11 by 14 inch matte media sketchbook that I use. And, oh, there it is. But it's like, even though you can divide the pages up into like see here, you've got like this. And then this is when I was practicing my raindrops. It would have been so nice to have like cut it down the middle, and then I would have had this page. I mean, even though you can divide it with your eyes and everything, I really like the flip book idea. And so y'all can just see, I drew a little Charlie Brown there. I'm not one that has drawn things free-handed. And then, when you want to just play with something and see how it's going to turn out, what the colors are going to look like. But look at all this space over here that I haven't used. I need to come back here and I need to use that. If I would have cut this down the middle, which I can still do, it's not too late to do that. But, I don't know. There's something about giving yourself the freedom to just play with no real. All right, so I'm going to go inside here, and I'm going to, on the inside of this, I'm just going to press this down really well. I don't care what happens on the outside. It's only what's on the inside. All right, and then we're done with the tape. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to get out a, let's Let's see. Boy, this is getting heavy. I got a lot of stuff on it. Let me get my brushes around the corner here. I'm going to get a fan brush, and I'm trying to decide which one I want. These look pretty similar. So anyway, if you don't have a sketchbook, okay, be right back. If you don't have a sketchbook, get yourself a sketchbook. This is a watercolor sketchbook that I'm playing with. And so we are getting ready to go here. We've got our paints. Let's see if I have a different, okay, there's that one. I think I want, this is a Zen. All right, let's just try this one and see what we get, y'all. I've got some water over here because we're working with watercolor. And we're going to do wet on dry is what we're going to work with. So I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to get my brush wet. Okay. And then we're going to come over here with these paints. And the color paints that I'm going to use are going to be... All right, this is where I want to introduce something to y'all before I move forward. Let me see if I've got my... That's not what I want. This is what I want. Whoops. Oh, I didn't want to drop those. That was not in the plan. All right, hang on a minute. There's one. Where did the other? Oh, of course, they went all the way under there. There's the second one. All right, this is my easy color theory explanation for y'all. Let me get these up here. There we go. All right. So most of us know the basics for color theory. Oh, and that's in the back. All right. We know that we have 3 primary colors. So here are my 3 primary colors. We have red, we have yellow, and we have blue. Doesn't make any difference where we position them. We still have red, yellow, and blue. We know that those are the primary colors that we start with, or most of us know. If you don't know, these are the colors where this is our starting point, okay? And so what we're going to do is when you start mixing colors, you know how whenever you're painting your water, you put your brushes in your water and it at some point turns brown, or it can turn gray, or if you have the right ratios, it can turn black, okay? Well, that's because when you mix the right ratios of yellow, blue, and red together, you're going to get a neutral color. It's either going to be brown, gray, or black, all right? So if you want to keep from getting your colors to making, mud is a good color if mud is the color you're after. But if your color is mud and it's not the color that you want, then you have to make sure, this is what you have to make sure you don't want to do, all right? You do not want to mix yellow, blue, and red together if you don't want mud. If you want mud, mix yellow, blue, and red together, okay? So, a lot of, and I'm not knocking this, I'm just saying this is how most artists teach color theory, is they say the complement is the color across the color wheel. And that is true. That is very true. The opposite of green is red, okay? The opposite of blue is orange, and those are complements. But my way of explaining it is this. If you want the complement of a color is the highest contrast you will have to that color. All right, so when we mix yellow and red, we get orange. what is left over is blue. Blue is the complement to orange. So you take two of your colors, or you take one color, all right? Take one color, the color red, and you want to know the complement of red. What primary colors are left over? Yellow and blue. What do yellow and blue make? Yellow and blue make green. So green is a complement to red. Red is a complement to green. Those are the two colors that'll be the highest contrast to each other. Now, the other thing about complementary colors, and it has something to do with the rods and cones and stuff in your eyes, and it's been a while since I've read about it, so I can't really explain that. But when you stare at the color red for a long period of time, then it's like the rods or the cones in your eyes of looking at red get kind of fatigued. They get tired. And so if you look at red for a while and then you take red away and you look at a white sheet of paper, you will get a green after image. Well, green is the complement to red. And so what happens is when you stare at red for a long time, it's like the rods or cones or something get really tired, and what's left over are the yellow and blue rods and cones or whatever it is. And so that's why the green comes up as an after image. Now, if you think about it on the interstate when you're driving, okay, you're looking at red taillights all the time. All the time, all the time. You've got red taillights in front of you. So your eyes get fatigued or tired, or the rods and cones or whatever it is get fatigued and tired of looking at the red. And when you look away to something, like the signs are green. And I don't know this for a fact, but I can almost bet that the green signs are because when you look away from the red onto the sign, so that you don't see that after image of green when you're looking at it. So when you look at the green sign on the interstate, it's, you know, you don't see that after image because you're looking at green. All right, so if we want purple, purple is red and blue. The complement to yellow, the complement to purple is yellow. If you have yellow, the primary colors left over are red and blue, and so the complement is purple. And which one did I leave out? Orange. Did I do orange? Yes, okay. So orange is red and yellow. The primary color that's left out will be blue, so the complement to orange is blue. And if you have blue, the primary colors left over are yellow and red. So orange is the complement to blue. So I personally think it's easier to remember these three colors, and then whichever primary color is missing is the complement. So let me say that again. If you have yellow, what's left over is with primary colors are red and blue. When you mix red and blue together, you get purple. So the complement to yellow is purple. If you start with red and blue, you mix those together, you're going to get purple. And then what's left over is yellow. So the complement to purple is yellow. Let's try it with the red and the green. What primary color is missing? Blue. So the complement to orange is the primary color that is left out. The complement to orange is blue. If you start with blue, the primary colors left out are yellow and red. Yellow and red make orange. So the complement to blue is orange. And then the last one is red, and I think I haven't done this one yet. Red and blue, you mix those together. What's left over is yellow. Yellow and purple are complements to each other. And I don't know if I did green and red. I think I left out green and red. Yellow and blue is green. The primary color that is not there is red. So the complement to green is red. The highest contrast that you will have to green will be red. And so you want to make sure that when you're working with complements that you're dry on dry, because you don't want to mix the complements together or you're going to get a brown, a gray, and if it's the right ratio of mix, you'll get a black. And so anyway, that's my color theory on working with colors. Now, why am I telling you that? Because we are getting ready. Maybe I'll leave this out in case I need to do it. I'm getting ready to choose what colors I want to make. And so what I want to make sure of, because I'm going to be taking some water and mixing things around, I want to make sure that the colors that I pick are only 2 of the 3 primary colors. Because if I mix purple and orange, so let's break this down to something practical. If I mix purple is red and blue, and orange is red and yellow. If I mix those, I have then mixed all 3 primary colors. I'm going to get a muddy color. Go right ahead, Karen. That's fine. So when you are choosing your colors, if they're going to be mixed together, if you're going to dry them in between, it won't matter as much. But with watercolors, anytime you get them wet, you're going to reconstitute it and you're going to mix them. So if I want to mix green, I can mix green. Oh, no, that's not going to give me green. I can mix green with any color of yellow, any color of blue, any shade of greens. I can do like a brown. So brown, if you mix all 3 colors, you're going to get a brown or a muddy look. And brown is a great color if you're painting dirt, or you want something with brown highlights. It's not an ugly color. It's a beautiful color, but it just is where you're using it. So so I'm going to, when I decide what colors I'm gonna work with tonight, I'm gonna go with like I'm gonna do a red. If I do red and blue, then I am working with a purple. And so I don't want so if I do red and blue, I want to keep anything that has yellow in it out of this. So I can do different shades of, I think I want to go with greens though. I think I want to work with green, okay? So I'm going to work with yellows and blues. So I'm going to do yellow, green, and no, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to do oranges. I'm going to do yellow, an orange, a red, and I'm going to maybe throw some fuchsia in here. Okay, so let me get these wet again, and I'll show you what we're going to do here. Just get them wet. You want to keep your watercolors wet. And so I'm gonna go along the lines of, and then I'm gonna get something to tap this, because splatters on both sides of the paper. So let me start with the fuchsia, because I like bright. I'm gonna start with some fuchsia. I want to make sure that my watercolors stay wet. And I'm just going to tap this on here. Both sides, I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. So let me get some more fuchsia. And I'm going to just tap this on here. The harder you tap, the bigger the dots. All right, I'm going to do just a little bit more. And then I'm going to rinse my brush. Get that out of there. All right, and now I'm going to go in and I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to throw, red and orange are going to make, red and yellow are going to make orange. So let's go with some red. I'm going to do red next. I've done the pink and the fuchsia. This is kind of an orangey red. And now I'm going to tap this color on here. And we're going to, the idea is we're going to end up mixing these in a little bit. So we're going to get them on here. It's going to dry. I don't know how this is going to come out, but this is my homework for my class tonight. I got to have it done by 8 o'clock. So I thought I can do my homework and I can do a live, or I can do a homework and do my live at the same time. So that's what y'all are getting. This is my homework for tonight, for last night, really. All right, I'm red. I've got a fuchsia. And then I'm going to put some yellow in here. And we're going to see what happens with this, y'all. Get a little bit more in here. And then I'm going to rinse my brush. Now, I want you to see my water. Okay? I should have shown it to you at first. The first time I got the fuchsia. Remember that fuchsia has got has red in it. All right, and then I put red in it, so I still have red water. You still have red water or pink water, all right, because we are only working with yellows and red. We're keeping blue out of this because when we add the blue, we're going to get brown. And if you want brown, that's great. But if you don't want brown, you only pick 2 primary colors. Only use 2 primary colors in your color mix, and then you won't get brown. All right, so now I'm going to come in here. Let me show you my palette. I'm going to come in here, and I've got like a golden color here, so I'm going to go in for the golden yellow. And I'm going to just dip this in here. Glad you're liking it, Karen. I'm telling you, I'm really having a fun time with this class. What did I just do with my brush? How can I be sitting here and not go anywhere and lose stuff? All right, here we go. We're going to add some yellow in here. Kind of a golden yellow. I'm going to go back in to my paint. Oh, I got some green. Let's see, green I don't want green, so I'm gonna start over. Okay. Well, there goes the green again. All right, let's just see what we get. Trying to keep it in just the gold. Got lots of water on my brush so that this will come off of here. Kind of concerned about that green, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not want blue in there, and blue comes from green. All right, this is it. All right, so I'm gonna rinse my brush. I didn't have a whole lot of green in on the brush, so you can see I still have red and yellow, which make orange. So my water is orange, so hopefully we're still good. For me, the way my mind thinks, I think red, yellow, and blue when I'm mixing colors. If I have all 3 primary colors, what do you get? A big set of paint. Oh, I got these through Andrea Nelson. She is on YouTube. I love these paints. I love them. They're not cheap, but I love them. Winsor Newton is supposed to be a really good watercolor name also. And I have some of those, but Andrea Nelson had like a sale like back at, what do you call it, Black Friday. All right, we're going to dry this. And I got her big bundle. All right, let me dry this real quick. I'm kind of nervous about that green in there, but we'll see. It doesn't have a whole lot of green. We'll see what happens. And let's see what time it's 7 o'clock. I got time. So what I want to do is I want to move this into a practical. I'm going to do like my homework for my watercolor class. And then I want to do like a small project, I hope. And we'll see where it goes. All right. All right, so now I'm not going to use my paints again. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to come in here with, I'm going to use a Posca pen. The instructor that I'm learning under recommends a double-sided Sharpie, an extra fine line, and a regular tip, but I don't have those, so I'm using a Posca pen. This is a 0.7 millimeter. It's an extra fine line. So we'll see. Wait a minute. I don't know. Hold on a minute. I do have, where I did have, what did I do with the pens I got out right here? All right, let's test these and see what happens, y'all. I'm kind of nervous to try this, but that one's going to be kind of big. So let's go with a 0.4 here. And all right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to draw a flower on each one of these. What kind of extra fine line? There's a double-sided Sharpie that one side of it has extra fine and the other side has a regular tip. It'll have two caps on it. I can send you a link. I can find it and send you a link. I just haven't gotten it yet because I have so many things. Now this one here is a pigment liner, water-based. I don't know. I feel like that's gonna blend. I'm gonna just try it. This is practice, right? I want to see if this is gonna work. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to make sure my hand is dry. My paper is dry. You can feel the roughness where the paint is. And we are going to draw a flower. And this is gonna be my middle. I don't know if y'all can see that. Can you see that? Is it showing up? All right, and then I'm gonna come up here. I'll hold it up in a minute. These are the petals. And it's okay to go off of the paper. Whoops, that one's kind of wonky. One of the things I like about this is you're not tracing anything. You're getting a shape in your head. Okay, you can see it good. You're getting a shape in your head and then you're going with it. And, you know, when we trace something, we're really, really careful. This particular, the way she's teaching, and y'all, I did not grow up with a paintbrush in my hand, okay? I'm a math teacher, remember? I'm a math teacher. So, anyway, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to get 7 on here, so let's go. There's another one, and I want to get 5. I want to get 2 more on here. Okay, so there I have it. There's one of them. Now we're going to draw the other one. About the same, all right, so we're going to take and adjust the center. It's not an exactness, it's just a center, a little bit of personality. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come up get my sleeve out of the way. And we're just going to go around. Turn your page if you can't do. My shoulders don't have full rotation, so I have to turn my page. Four, and I got to get 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, so this is what I have. Relatively the same. Not exactly the same, but relatively the same. Did you watch Amy Farrell? I haven't. Is she? I'll have to look her up. I just have not been online that much the last couple of days. I'll have to, if you'll do me a favor and just tell me the name of her page so that I can look for her, I would love to watch her. I'm all about learning from people who are ahead of me. All right, so I'm going to put maybe a few leaves in here. Let's see. Let's come in here. How do I want to do this? Make them look like that. And maybe a leaf in here. I am the learning girl. And as I learn, I'm going to teach y'all, because that's just what I do. All right, and then let's bring another leaf down here. And maybe a leaf coming out over here. And remember, I'm just kind of playing with this and seeing where we're going to go with it. This is going to be fun when you see what I'm going to do next. Just playing with it, getting a few leaves in here. If you want it to go behind, then leave that section off. And I'll tell y'all what I do is I am constantly, okay, good, thank you. I am constantly looking at nature and seeing how did God create this, because he is the master creator, right? All right, and then I'm going to do a leaf right in here. There is so much room for growth in what I'm doing, but I'm okay. I'm okay with where I am because, oh, thank you, Karen. I know that I am further than I was if I would have just sat and done nothing. So remember that for y'all too. All right, let's bring some leaves in over here. That's the whole idea behind the sketchbook, is just play. Like, I don't even know if this black pen is going to work for me or not, but the only way I'm going to find out is to try it, right? I'm hoping we're going to be okay, but who knows what's going to happen. All right, and I think we might be okay. Leaves look a little wonky, but I'll get better and so will you as y'all practice. All right, I'm going to just put a little bit of heat on this because I'm kind of nervous that when this says water-based, but I know a Sharpie is water-based also. I just want to maybe set this in here. And you do, Karen. You are an incredible encourager. I really appreciate you and just the way that you encourage everyone. You're one of my friends who I would call a wordsmith. I look at some of the comments that you reply to, and I thought, I would never think to say that. And it's like perfect, you know. They remember I'm a math teacher, so words aren't at the top of my list of things that I do well with. All right, here we go. Going for the watercolor brush again. This is a number 6. It doesn't really matter what number, I don't think. Now, what I'm going to do is on one side, I'm going to take and I'm going to only do the inside of the flowers and the leaves. On the other side, I'm going to do everything outside. And so, just, here we go. How are we doing on time? 7 o'clock. All right, so I'm going to do the insides. And you see how this paint is reconstituting itself. You want to keep it wet, so I'm going to get some more water. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing. Now, as I'm sitting here thinking, and everything's coming out kind of pretty much the same color, I'm thinking, maybe I should have, so this is kind of like learning as you go. Maybe I should have done like one side more red and maybe orange and another side more fuchsia and something else so I get different colors in different places. But that's where the practice. As soon as you start putting a brush in your hand and start moving around the page, that's when you realize, oh, I can do this, or oh, I can do that, or this would be neat if I did this over here. But these are all coming out the same, so maybe I want a little more fuchsia in here, and I don't have as much fuchsia, so I'm going to dip over here, and I'm going to just bring some fuchsia maybe into the centers here. Then I go back and I say, okay, well, let's just come over here. And every one of those little dots is activated again. Everywhere where we had those dots gets reactivated. Now, if I didn't have the dots here, another thing that we could have done is we could have just done the individual colors, and then the leaves would have been green instead of being orange. So this is going to be a kind of a fallish picture. Let's get the inside, the middle here. The paint is going to follow wherever. Oh, I like orange. You know the color that I tend to stay. I do not gravitate towards. See if you can guess. You haven't watched me long enough to know. You'll notice I'll do pinks, I'll do oranges, I'll do bright vivid greens and blues. So what color do you think I don't gravitate towards? It's not that I don't like the color, it just does not call to me. It does not say, pick me out of the crayon box. Yeah, this one is definitely, they're going to be very orange. I love fuchsia. I'll give you a hint. It's not in the primary color that I used. Okay? Purple. It's purple. Yep. For whatever reason, purple does not call my name. I'll do like a bright, vivid plum, kind of maybe one of these two colors. I like that purple, but I'm not real fond. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side. Actually, before I do that, I think I want to come in here with a little more fuchsia and just kind of go along the center to define that. Maybe go along the edge. Yeah, I don't know why, and I didn't discover that until not too long ago. I'm going to go ahead and outline these in fuchsia, y'all, just because I can. No special reason. I tend to feel colors. I don't know how to describe that. It's like when I wake up to get dressed in the morning, I'll just feel like wearing a certain color. Let's just see what this does. Now, watercolor is different than acrylics in the fact that with acrylics, once it dries, you can go over it with another color. With watercolor, once it dries, when you go over it, you're reactivating that watercolor, and it's going to mix. So you don't want to mix your three primary colors together. All right. Kind of like that. All right. All right, let's move on to the other side, and we're going to activate the outsides of everything, and then we'll see how this all goes. All right, just putting water down here. Tomorrow is my last day. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Tomorrow is my last day for my watercolor class. So I've got tonight and tomorrow. And y'all, I am having so much fun with this. And I love to learn, and then I love to share. For me, that is just like fun. Just keeping it on the outside. Everything's on the outside this time. And then I'll probably go around the edges with the fuchsia again. Just to, have you tried? I have not. I have not. Not yet. I've got them sitting right next to me. Now, when you work with the Pixie Metallics, Karen, do you do like a matte paint underneath it? Because I've always, what I have learned from other people who use metallics is that they find a color that is similar to the color of the metallic, and they do a base coat in that, and then all right, just making sure I have enough water on my brush. And then they do the metallic over that base coat. I want to take and play with that to see, what exactly happens. And then I'm just coming in, and now that there's a little bit of water on this, I'm kind of swishing it around to see what we're going to get. I kind of like that. Kind of keep it moving, makes it a little bit more vibrant. Do you know what I mean? Tracy, what did I say her name is? Tracy Winesapple. Somebody asked her, how do you pronounce your name? And she said it's like wine apple. Winesapple. And so that's how I remember it. Biggest thing is wherever the water is where your paint is going to go. If you don't want the paint to be reactivated, then you don't put the water there. I like this. This is kind of fun. She had an advertisement that came across my page, and I thought, because 2026 for me is the year to paint more. That's kind of what I'm doing in 2026. So now, why learn to paint? You know, it's like you can start with painting something and then you can add to it, like I did last night with this. Okay? What I wanted to do was I wanted to highlight this scripture, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And so I didn't want to just put the joy of the Lord is my strength on a panel. I wanted something to go with it. And then I thought, oh, well, I can mix what I learned in class with, all right, just kind of coming back over this and moving some of these around a little bit so that they get a little more activated. But so as we learn to do, I started with Chalk Couture back in 2021, October 2021. And, you know, and that was fun. But I thought, but I don't want it to just be plain signs. And I saw other people, you know, using other art techniques to incorporate their, the Chalk Couture in with. And I thought, oh, well, I'd like to learn that. And then, you know, I've had the desire to learn how to paint since really about 2010. I went to a conference. It was called Power and Love Conference. And there was somebody up at the front who was painting. What kind of brush is that? This is also the paints, the brushes are from Andrea Nelson. She's on YouTube, and if you want me to send you the link, just send me a private message, and I will I'll get the link for you. But so the brushes, the pens, these pens I got from her. It's a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pens. It has 0.05, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.8, and a brush. And I don't know what the brush looks like because this is the first time I've really pulled this out. Oh, it's got like a brush tip. Let's see. There we go. It's got a brush tip. Oh, how fun is that? Oh, I might be using that. And so A Dream or a Day Art, I guess, is the name of her company. But she's really good at teaching also. Okay, let's see. Where did I leave off? I think I got it all. Oh, no, I didn't. I got to come in here. Here we go. And then I'm going to go around just like I did with the other one. Maybe not quite so bright. And I'm going to go around the outside just so they're kind of the same. They don't have to be the same. I'm just going to go around the petals just lightly. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do a little bit more artwork on here. Now, the thing about watercolor too that I'm learning is that if you go over it a second time, that's when, now I'm doing the outside, so I'm tempted to want to go inside here. If you go over your piece a second time, it gets more vibrant. All right, we're going to do this side over here. These are nice brushes. This is a nice paint set. I've been pretty pleased with it. I've bought other watercolors before, and these paints are pretty creamy. I think somebody told me there's like a high middle ground of quality. I don't know. All I know is they're creamy, and there seems to be a lot of pigment in this. All right, so this is what we have. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Okay. Oh, I didn't do, oh no, I got to keep that one different. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to rinse my brush, and I think I'm done with the water for now. And I'm going to come in here with one of my pens. Oh, this is kind of broken. What did I use? A 0.4 or something? So we're going to do, like, let me dry this. Make sure it's good and dry. Oh, I like both of them for different reasons. That's a good question. That's really a good question. I like both of them. I also like the Rebel Unicorn. Her name is Lindsay. I want to say Lindsay Wagner, but I'm not positive of her last name. Tracy, one of the things that Tracy does is, well, whatchamadoodle, Andrea Nelson is too, but I've taken classes from other people, so let me explain. I'm taking a class of lessons from Tracy. Andrea is on YouTube, and she's on Facebook, and she has a lot of reels. So even though she's teaching lessons, and she has lessons that you can pay for, but I haven't taken a class from her yet. The one thing that Tracy does, I haven't taken any classes from Andrea, but I've taken classes from a couple other artists, and their lessons are good, really good. I've learned from them, and they kind of propelled me to where I am now. And I'm not going to say any names because I don't want it to sound like I'm bad mouthing them. It just, some artists have a tendency, it's just the way they're wired to keep going and going and going and going. And, you know, and it's like, oh, I'm tired. And Tracy, she says, she starts at 8 o'clock and she's done by 9. And she's very punctual and respectful of our time. And because her lessons are short and to the point, I'm not exhausted at the end of the lesson. I'm like ready to go. And she leaves you wanting more. And I don't know how else to describe it other than she's very cognizant of the clock. And I'm sure it's because it may be because she has a busy schedule. I think it's because she respects people's time. And I thought, I could take a lesson from her because sometimes I get a little windy too. But anyway, so let me turn this around, and now we're going to do, so I like both Andrea, I like Tracy, and I like the Rebel Unicorn. They all have things to offer, you know, and everybody has a different strength too. So Tracy, this is a bold, what's it called? Bold, Beautiful Wildflower class. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, and then you have a lifetime access to it. I can, tell me, if you just put in the comments or something for a link for the Bold, Beautiful Wildflower class, you can still join it. It's like $10. And you can still join it and just come in late, and then you have lifetime access to it. It is a good class. All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna come in here, and she takes the last 10 minutes of class to answer questions, and I just don't want someone who, nope, she won't do this. She won't do this. I'm telling you. She teaches just a couple of concepts a night, cuts it off at quarter till or 10 till the hour. So it's a 45, 50-minute lesson. And then she allows 10 minutes at the end of her lesson to answer, 10 or 15 minutes to answer any questions that people have. All right, so here we go. So we're going to go around this again. We're going to just kind of go near the line, but don't necessarily have to go on the line. And I kind of think that I'm kind of in the camp with Tracy Winesap. It kind of makes it more interesting when it's not exactly the same. And I'm going to go over the leaves again also. I'm going to go over this maybe 2 or 3 times. I've got a finer marker tonight, so go back over the middle. And I'm like close, but not exactly right on the line, so it almost looks like a double line. This is just going to highlight it a little bit better. She answers a few questions, during the lesson, but for the most point, she leaves most of her questions for the end. All right, then I'm going to come around the middle again. The middle we're going to do like we did the middle on the sunflower last night. Now remember, you don't have, you can do these techniques with acrylics also. You don't have to just save it for watercolors. Now reconstituting the paint is going to be a watercolor thing. But no, so in the Power and Love conference, there was somebody up front painting, and as the speakers were teaching, and as the word was being spoken, and it was kind of like a prophetic painting. And what happened was, at the end of the 3-day conference, the artists, I don't know if they sold their pieces or they gave them away. And that was back in 2010. And I thought, I want to do that one day. And so that has been a passion of mine for, I guess, 16 years, 15 years now, to paint and just give away my pieces. And this is going to be in my sketchbook, so I'm not really giving this away, but 2026, that's what God has called me to do. Yes. Yes. All right. And you can choose any color you want. It doesn't have to be black. Remember, it's your work. All right, so here we go. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to go around the middle, and she calls this a heartbeat. And we're going to go up into the, all right, so here we go. So we're going to go just kind of up into the flowers. Just kind of almost like scribbling. And then I'm going to go around the center again too. Okay, so this is what I've done. All I've done is just kind of gone up into the from the center to the outside. And then I'm going to go around. I like to do kind of like a figure 8, and just kind of swirling around the center of the flower. Just to, you don't want to sit and scribble like coloring, but, and this is just a technique that, I don't know, I just kind of developed as she was teaching. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here up at the top. and we are going to go from the top down. And like I said, I'm new to this, so I'm learning right along with everybody else. All right, and then I'm going to come in here and highlight these leaves a little bit. And I think I want to put some dots, some black dots in the middle. And I'm going to come in here with the leaves, kind of give them a little bit more thickness to it. Now remember, your sketchbook is where you practice, and you just, if you don't like it, you just turn the page, okay? All right, so this is what we have for the one side. Let's see if I can. And then for the other side, my husband's aunt used to do chalk painting, and bless her, oh no, it was in the most hideous. Oh no. Oh, you like the figure 8. I noticed that. So that, okay, yeah. Oh no. That is so funny. Is she still alive? Oh, that is so funny. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to kind of spruce this side up over here too. And I'm going to go around the middle again. But remember, we are not doing the inside of this, and I'm just following along. Not worrying if I hit the line. I'm trying to just go close to the line, as close as I can. And if I don't get it exactly right, it's okay. I'm going to get better. We all have a starting point, and my starting point is going to be different than everybody else's starting point. And your starting point is going to be different than everybody else's starting point. The only comparison you're going to do is to yourself. We do not compare ourselves to others. All right, let's go up the middle. This is just bringing a little more strength to these lines. I'm having fun. I'm really having fun learning this stuff, y'all. And so, as I make my projects this year, I've said this on every one of my lives, that if there's something, if it speaks to you, if the Holy Spirit, oh, she's 84. I really wanted to display it, but of course I thanked her very much. Aw. Oh, no. What a nice way to say it. Oh, I love the way your words are, Karen. You are good. You are so good. I forgot what I was saying. I got sidetracked with your comment. It belonged. I've never heard it quite that way. Who was it? My nephew said something to me the other day, and I was like, yeah, that's a nice way of saying that you really didn't like it, right? And sometimes I can be really good with that, but a lot of times I offend people, not intentionally, but all right, so here we go, coming on around the horn here. And we're still going to do the same lines that we did on the other piece. Oops, I didn't mean, I got caught right along the tape. I didn't want to do that. Oh well. I forgot what I was saying. That's funny. It belonged to Goodwill. I'm going to remember that line. It belongs at Goodwill. All right, here we go. I think I want to go around that inside circle again. I may even go around these leaves a third time. All right, let's see. Of course, I'm going to do the squigglies, so maybe I'll wait and see what we do. All right, so here we go. So we're going to take and, all right, see if I can get this thing down. All right, so I'm going to do like some, I'm going to go ahead and do the like little, what I call figure eights. This is my own concoction. Tracy didn't teach us that, but I just, you know, when you see flowers, they're not like perfect. Everything isn't perfect on them. They go kind of Willy Wonkus, different directions and all of that. All right, so for this one, what do I want to put in the middle? All right, let me just go ahead and we're going to come in here and we're going to come in and we're going to go like that. Let me just show you. Let's see if I can, there it is, right there. That's what she calls a heartbeat. Whoops, wrong one. This one right here, same thing. Kind of like an EKG. I'm very appreciative and would never. I know you are. I can tell. I sense your sweet spirit. Oh, bless her heart. Bless her heart. I'm assuming she doesn't live nearby. There we go. I'm getting better. Just kind of do like a, you know, some short ones and then some long ones. And for me, I have to turn my project because my shoulders aren't going to give me, you know, some people can draw from any direction. I can't. You know what's coming up? I'll have to tell y'all. I have a shower curtain. I don't know if I said this last night or not. I have a shower curtain that has fish on it that I have been wanting to paint for 2 years. And now I'm feeling confident I can do this. I can tackle this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do them on canvas, like 1.5 inches. And I'm going to do like individual. Hey, Berta, good to see you. I'm going to do them on individual, one fish per canvas. And then I want to hang them in the bathroom. So we'll see how it comes out. We'll see. All right, so now we got to come down. How do I want to do? I think I want to do, I'm just kind of playing, y'all. I'm not sure how I want to do these. Just kind of scratching it, but I want to do something in the center. I'm not sure what I want to do. Hope you had a good day, Berta. All right, I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna do this. I think I like that better. Remember, it's just paint. That's better. I like that better. I'm just kind of going side to side. A lot of fine lines in there. This is practice. That's what we do. We practice. The freer you are, the better your lines are going to be. Trust me, I was the one that traced everything. I'm not going to be able to go to Pigeon Forge, I don't think. I would love to come. No, she doesn't. If she did. Yeah, I would. I'm the same way. I would do the same thing. Aw, you're so sweet. Okay. You know what I want to do? I think I've got. Ooh. All right. Am I done? I think I'm done, except for the center of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the tape off. I probably shouldn't do that yet. Now, the secret to taking the tape off to keep it from sticking is to heat it up. heat up the tape. This is painter's tape. And we'll figure out a way to get together so we can give each other a hug, Karen. And pull it at a 45-degree angle, okay? All right, same thing. I'm gonna heat this up. Pull it at a 45-degree angle. I got one more thing I want to put in the center here. I want to try. All right. I'm going to pull this way because I'll be pulling against where it was holding it down. I did tear my paper the other night, so I wanted to. All right, so this is what we have, y'all. And then I got one more thing that I want to do. So, so we started by flicking, splattering paint on both sides. Well, we actually started by cutting our paper in half. And that gave us 2 separate sheets to work with. This is a 9x12 watercolor, what's it called? Something. Watercolor has 9x12. It has 20 sheets in it. This is what I'm working with. And so we started by, what is this? Cutting our paper in half so we have 2 sides to work with. It looks like but I didn't. And then we splattered everything on here. Then we drew our flower. And after we drew our flower, we took a paintbrush and we got some water on it and we went inside the design on this page and outside the design on that page. And then after we did that, we did the extra drawing. But I have one more thing that I want to try here. I got this stuff, it's called Contour, it's by PintArt. This is what it is. And what I think I want to do is, this gives you like a really, really fine, I'm going to put some dots on here. For the center. And then I'll have to make sure that I give it time to dry. Just to give it a little raised effect. And I may go back, you know, when I get braver. Oh, I'm liking this, y'all. I may go back and like go over some of the lines with this. Oh, I like that. I think I'm going to do this side. Yeah. I think I'm going to leave that side plain. And then, oh, you know what, y'all? I'm like, I could really keep going. I've got green. I could do like on the leaves, but I'm not. I'm going to just leave it in the black like that. And so this is what we're going to end with. See how this has got a little bit, I don't know if you can see, it's got a little bit of height to it. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. But anyway, so this is what I have. I'm not going to have time to, I'll do tomorrow night. I'm going to take, and I'm going to use this technique. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. I'm going to take this transfer, and I'm going to use the technique that I used tonight, and we'll do one side where we do the watercolor on the inside, and I think I'm going to work with greens and blues tomorrow. I want to work with greens and blues. I'm going to do it on watercolor paper, and we'll see where it takes us. So anyway, all right, thanks for joining me. I enjoyed chatting with y'all, and I hope you have a great night. I have my class starts at 8 o'clock, and so I got to get my stuff together, and I hope y'all have a great night. And I'm Julie with Nothing is Wasted Designs. I hope that I have inspired you to try something new, and that maybe if you end up doing anything with this, please share it with me. You can put it in the comments. You can send me a message. I love to see what people are doing, and I expect people to go above and beyond where I am. I'm not expecting y'all to be where I am. I'm expecting you to be way above me. All right, I love you. Berta, it's great to see you. I hope you have a good night. And Karen, thanks for staying on and chatting with me. All right, bye, y'all. I love you, and Jesus loves you more. Bye-bye.